This is Jonathan Ober with Belief Action Results website tutorial and walkthrough. I'm going to go down through the list of things you gave me, Mindy, and hopefully we can just run right through all of these. I may have to pause from time to time to set up a short demo as far as like a page that's hidden. So bear with me as I walk through these things. So what I like to do typically is I like to have two tabs at least open when editing a site. One for the actual site, I can go through it and see it, and then two for the backend admin, which can be found at your web address, wp-admin. So hopefully that's the same as what you're used to. The login will be the same, and you'll be able to see all of these different areas. So the first thing that you asked is to have the picture not scrolling. So down here we have this picture here that has that parallax effect that as the page scrolls up, the photo is revealed, but this picture doesn't move. And we have that on a couple pages. So what I like to do is I like to go into Pages, and when that goes to our list, you'll see all of the pages in our site. And we can find our home page, which is labeled as our front page, and go ahead and click on that to edit the page. Now, once the page loads, you'll be greeted with the typical WordPress editor, but because we're running the Visual Composer plugin, we have a lot more that we can do within our pages. So basically we have the building blocks of our layout. So our page title is here, and if you scroll down through, you can start to see these little blocks. If they're grayed out, that means they're available for only mobile. So for instance, on the home page, I do a different slider on the mobile because we found that the words weren't fitting right. So I resized that here. But then we have our different boxes, and I can go scroll all the way through, and you can see these different boxes. Okay, so all these are here. So this is our opt-in box. So if I go down to our opt-in box, which is right here, I can click on this little pencil to edit. And once that opens, there's a couple options here that I had to put in so that our image doesn't move. So basically it's these two, this little blurb here, which is an extra class name, VC underscore parallax hyphen content hyphen moving, and then there's a space in between that, and then STM underscore fixed underscore background. So out of the box, there's not like a simple way to make the parallax not move the image because it wants to basically move the text and the image in the background at different speeds. And so what we're saying is make this fixed. So that's what this STM fixed background is doing. So if you do ever need to make a row, you can make a row with a background. You can add this little class to it. Now we want to add, remove sections, circles, squares, etc. So let's find a page that has, actually let's just find a default page, or a new page. So let's go new page. And what we'll do is we'll just create a demo content page. So once the new page has loaded, again, we'll have our title box here. If you are creating a new page, you're going to want to switch to the backend editor, and we're just going to go ahead and do demo content. So there's a couple different places that I can go in Visual Composer to add elements. So typically what I like to do is start off with a row. So that'll give me this long row. Now this is assuming right off the bat the default is that this is going to be a full stretched row. But I can change this. So I can make this row columns, and I can do some options here within the row. So if I want to make it a stretched row, which means it goes edge to edge, if there's columns here and I want to put a gap between them, I can put a default gap number between them, or I could just leave it blank. There's some other checkboxes here that will affect how things are rendered. If I want to allow for that parallax, I can do that, adding a background image. If I don't need the parallax and I want to add a background, so let's just say, not a background color, we'll add that background image, that blue that we've been using. We can go ahead and do that. And that will show up here. And then I can also give a little bit of padding top and bottom. Okay. If I want that to have the bump in it, I can do that. So I can put that bump on the bottom. Now what I was doing, I was offsetting it by 72 pixels, I think. And then I think the icon color was white. Just did the default bump, which I believe is that. Actually, I think it's just this. It's just the bump, and then there's no icon in it, and we don't have an icon size. I believe that's how I did it. Let's hit save. And actually we can change this to one single column, and we could do our custom heading here. And let's just do, this is our page. It's centered. Since we're using H2, we don't need to change our stuff there, but we can make this white. And we want to use our default font family. So what I can do is I can hit preview to open up a new tab. And since we don't have anything underneath this, that looks terrible. But you can see, like, if we had more page content, the white bump would be there at the bottom. So as we build our columns and rows, you can continue again rows. If you want to have 3 columns, let's say we want to have some icons in there. So I can type in icon. There's icons and then the icon box. Icons are just the icon. Icon box would be an icon with some text. So if we choose an icon, and let's just say we want the castle. I don't need a background shape. I can choose a color, or I can do a custom color if I want it to. We'll just leave that as blue. If we want that icon centered, we can do that. If we want the icon to have a link, we could add a link. We can hit this little button here to duplicate, and then I can click and drag to move those into the different columns. I can change those as well. So let's just let's add a background and a bit of padding to this row so that it's not bumped right up against. Generally speaking, I was using 60. It seemed to be a good space there. Let's choose white. So let's go ahead and preview that again. That will refresh this tab that I have open for the preview. See, so now we have those icons there. So again, if I want to build out, if I want to add some text underneath this, I can do a custom heading. Maybe for this one, since this is secondary, we'll do an H3. I'm going to leave this off, that way it chooses my default font. Again, I can duplicate those, drag those around. And edit each of those blocks. Alright, I have not spelled binoculars in a long time. I thought it was you. And hit save. So again, we can preview that. And puts that default font and color there. So I think actually my bump might have my numbers backwards. Might only be 27. I think we just had that bump just a little bit. Oh, it cached the page. Oh, you know what? Did I take away the negative? Maybe this is... Might have to look at one of the other pages to see what I did. I think our about page might have it. Yeah, it definitely is not. Alright, so let's go... Oh, no, we didn't do it there. Is it services? I should have looked ahead of time. Apologize for that. Let's go to services. Alright, so their services is done, right? So we can go to edit page here. Sometimes these pages take a long time to load because they're loading all this Visual Composer layout in. Okay, so, oh, you know what? I think I did that down here. That's what I did differently. Okay, so we don't want the custom heading here. Sorry. We want to do all of our custom heading page title stuff down below. So down here we want to enable, and then we choose our background, icon disabled. Okay. Choose our image. Sure we want the bump enabled. All right, so let's, I think then the bump gets put in here, right? Sorry, I'm just thinking as I'm doing these live. There we go. Okay, so we want to do the bump here. Okay, so the bump is going to be top offset is 72. Color is white. Save changes, preview. Oh, and I forgot to change the color of the title. There we go. Preview. There we go. All right, so again, we can continue to add rows as we need them. If we just want, you know, a single row, let's say got a background. Let's just do like a light color just so you can see the difference. And this will be a stretched row. And let's put inspirational thought. Center that. Always make sure you check your default font family, because if you don't, it's going to use the first one, which happens to be Abral Face. And separator, let's do our swoosh, and we'll just leave those. And let's preview that. Okay. Oh, and I didn't put the swoosh underneath. I put the swoosh on top. So do at the bottom. Again, we can continue to just build rows as we need them. You know, if we want another 3 columns, maybe this time we have some text blocks. Just hit save. I'm just going to put in the default text blocks here. Okay, you can put those there. Let's say I wanted to add an image above that. I can do a single image. And we'll just choose one of these here. I'll show you a little trick here. Let's get the first image working properly. Okay, so we want this to just be you know, full, because we want it to take up this whole column width. And keep the image centered. That's fine. So what we can do is we can duplicate that image. And then since it's the same image, we want to edit that. And now we're just editing the image. The other information will stay. So we just hit the plus, choose a different image. The nice thing is that Visual Composer will show you the image once you hit save. That will refresh to reflect the new image. Boom. So again, we're just going to change the image. Image. And once that's done, hit save. And let's go ahead and preview what we've done now with those image blocks. Oh, now see, I didn't add space in between that row. So I come back in here. And if we want that row to maintain the white background, but we want some space top and bottom, come in here to design options and do our 60 pixels. Got a little bit of space between that. All right, so yeah, and as far as adding and removing, if you do want to remove an icon, you've got the trash button right there. It's going to tell you, are you sure you want to delete that? Hit OK, and it's gone. So if we just preview that one real quick, you'll see up here, no more castles. No more castles. All right, so next thing was, let's add a row. And let's say we want to add video. So you can do, if you type in video while you're in here, you'll get the embed YouTube Vimeo player. And this one, let's go out and let's do YouTube. And let's just grab, oh, who am I kidding? I don't want to, I'd rather a Husky video. All right. Oh, apparently I used this one already. All right. And let's just go ahead and copy that URL. And I'm going to paste that there. Okay. I want the video to be 100%, 16:9 ratio, which is typical horizontal widescreen alignment. And let's just center this video. So let's go ahead and hit save and preview. And when that refreshes, our Husky video will be that big. Now, again, I didn't put the space above and below it. So let's go ahead and give this a little bit of style to it. For our design options, let's do the 60. For the background, let's choose kind of a gray in here. And let's make sure that our row stretches the whole width. Hit save. And just to show you the flexibility of the video player, I'm going to put one video over here and another video. And let's go out to Vimeo. So Vimeo is another site where you can find, oh, I don't want that, I just want actual Vimeo.com. And let's get a video here. So let's see, these guys are skydiving. I'm going to grab that Vimeo link. And we're going to paste that here. 100%. Let's keep it center aligned just in case. And let's go ahead and preview. So I made two columns. I added the 60 pixel padding, gave a background color, stretched my row so that the color went the whole length. And now we take our full screen video down to two columned videos, and each of them have their respective playhead. So I can click on this and watch the video right in there. One thing I wanted to see was when it got to the end, what does it do? It does play the next videos. So let me see something in here. Okay. So one thing I know from working with YouTube videos is that they'll play related videos automatically at the end. So if you go to YouTube and we do a search for that Husky video again, and we go to this video, okay, what I can do is I can actually grab, instead of just grabbing this link, and go ahead and do a share. And what I want to do, does it not allow me to, okay, hold on one second. Okay, so before you used to be able to check a little box that said show related videos. Oh, here we go. So share, oh, it's only on the embed. I don't like that. Oh no, okay, this is very different. Oh, here we go, so suggested videos. Okay, so you'll see if you watch this link up here, if I click on that, that little REL equals 0 goes away. Okay, or question mark REL, sorry. So if you want, and you don't want your video at the end to play these related videos, what you'll have to do is in your YouTube link is do that. Hit save, preview. Now when we go all the way to the end, the video just stops. Boom. Stops, goes right back to the beginning. Okay. The nice thing about this is that it's not playing related videos, which are randomly generated by YouTube. So I would recommend doing that $REL at the end of your video. I'm not sure how Vimeo handles related. Ooh, can we? Oh, can I not control the sound? Oh, okay. Let's see here. There we go. Sound controls. So I can expand the video. Let's go all the way to the end and let's just see. Does it? Okay, so it does show other videos from them. I've never done Vimeo as far as not showing related, so I'll have to look at that and see if there's a way to hide those. Okay, e-commerce. All right, so let's go back. So right now, I'm going to skip e-commerce for now because that's going to be its own thing. So let's do adding menu items for recommendations for success. So this demo page, I'm going to leave up just so you can play with it. It's not live. It's a draft. So it won't be a page that people can get to. It's not published anywhere. All right, so once that's done with that, let's go, well, while that's doing that, let's go over here to recommendations for success. I believe this page is saved. Yep. All right, so we can close out the demo. Close out the services and the Husky video. All right, so recommendations for success. You were asking how to add menu items for recommendations for success. Okay. So the process for menu items as far as on the side is as simple as adding a new section to our widget that basically gives this slide up ability. It's an accordion. Okay. So when that page loads, I'll show you just how easy it is. Oh, man. Sorry if I pause every once in a while. I have a bug bite that's super itchy right now on my arm. All right. So recommendations for success. So you'll see here we have this little what they call tour. Okay, and there's all these different sections in here. So if we need to add a new section, so let's click on that. We can add a new section, and we can click on that section, and we can change the name that that section has. So for instance, this section, let's say books, videos, live events, audios. Let's just make brochures, maybe. So that's there. So if we look at our books section, you'll see there's 3 columns, 3 columns, 3 columns. Okay. So what we can do here is in this section, just like we could on the other Visual Composer pages, we could add elements. So we can add our row, and just for consistency, we can click on our columns and do 3 columns. And then just like back here where we have, so I use the embedded HTML that you gave me. So for those, I would choose the element raw HTML if they gave you, that snippet code with the image and then the click-through code that gives you credit. You would want to do raw HTML. You would paste your HTML code in there in the editor here. Okay. If you're not doing that and you just want to have like an image that clicks through to a link and you're not getting any kind of credit for that as far as that person purchasing that book, what you can do is you can do a single image, and we can do our media source, and I'll have to look. I'm not sure how many of those books were not raw HTML, so the ones that you have up may not transfer here. Okay, so some of these are ads here, so we can go ahead and click on that. And then, if we need to add some code there, we can do that as well. Give me 1 second. So now, if we want to have that image click over to something, we can go ahead and click on the edit image. And now down here, we want to have an on-click action. We can open a custom link, and we can put in a website, and we don't want that to go anywhere. We want it to open up a new window. So let's go ahead and save changes. Now I just want to preview this because we don't want to make this live. So we'll preview that post. And so now brochures is here. And now we have our little icon, our little image there that we've uploaded. We go ahead and we can hit that, and that'll open up a new link. Okay? So that's how to add those. So we want to get rid of this section altogether. No more brochures. And let's actually save that since we did make those changes. Now for the comments notices, that is kind of on a page-by-page basis. And I'm going to scroll down all the way down. Oh, I guess I have it turned off here. Okay, so each page can have comments. Actually, let's just go to the post. So you have post success stories. So let's go ahead to post. One second. All right, so let's find our post. What you seek is here. And on to success stories. I meant to go to raising your bar. And what you seek is here. All right, so this is our post. So when we go to post, there's a couple things that you want to be mindful of. The first thing is something you're going to want to work on is your categories. Right now, you have a lot of posts that are uncategorized, so you just want to go ahead and add a new category and put those posts in those categories, and then uncheck uncategorized. That way, on here, it actually shows a category. Okay, so our post has a featured image, which is this, has a title, and then it has our post information here. So all of that can be easily gotten to in the post area. So we have our title here, so you're going to put that in. That's going to automatically set up the URL, so you don't have to worry about that. Now you can choose to just do straight layout with your text, and that as far as how your posts are written. But you do have the option, if you want to switch to the Visual Composer editor, to have dynamic layouts for your blog pages as far as images, videos. You want to have multiple columns, you can do that. But right now, I'm in the normal backend editor, or the normal WordPress editor. If I do click backend editor, you'll see it just converts that to a text block. So there's no problem there as far as going back and forth. But once you do start doing Visual Composer columns and different things there, you're going to want to stay in the backend editor mode and not switch back and forth. Below here then, if you want, you can write an excerpt, which is what shows up on the blog page, as well as if you post this to your Facebook, that will be the default excerpt that's used. You can turn comments on and off, so right now comments are turned on. So if you go to the post here, you'll see comments are there. So pretty much that's post. Let me just check to see. So then the only other thing is the success stories. So I can go there. And on the success stories page, you just want to be able to add pictures and videos. So I can go ahead and edit that page. And so in our success stories page right now, we have all these individual comments that people made. What I would recommend is if you do want to add another success story, you want to have a photo or video, you can go ahead and add that person's individual text block. And then if you have a video along with it, so let's just add this, for instance. So that's a text block, and then you can also add their video if they have a video. And I'm just putting these in here as their default, so let's just preview that. And once that page refreshes, you'll see the videos right in line with the blog, with the testimonial. Okay. I'm going to delete that. And hit update. And then as far as forms and when people fill out information, you have this section here called Forms. And you can look at each individual form here, so you can click on Entries. And once you're in there, you'll see all of your entries for that specific form. When you do have an entry in here, you'll be able to click into that entry to see the full form, but this just shows you a few of the fields. If you ever want to export, you can go to Import Export. And from there, you can select which form you want to export from. And if you want to choose a specific date range, you can do that as well. You can select all the fields in a date range, and then you can download that. That'll give you an Excel file. Hopefully that helps. So again, this is just a short walkthrough. If you have more questions, please let me know.